Hey everyone, this is Mike, and today we're going to be doing a first impressions on Hades. Now, this game was released into early access a few days ago. This is in active development, of course, as you can see in the bottom right. The next major update is going to be in 29 days. You can read patch notes and everything on here. A few things before I start the video. This game is made by Supergiant games. They are well known for games like Bastion and Transistor. Pyre was their last game, but it was very different from the two previous games because both Transistor and Bastion are very narrated games, whereas in Pyre there was hardly any voice acting done. This game, however, is voice acted again, but there's also a lot of reading that you can do if you wish so. But everything that is said in the game is also voice acted, so it's really nice for people that don't like reading as much as they had to do in Pyre. Now, what really intrigued me in this game is the fact that this is a roguelike. When I bought the game, I didn't know it was a roguelike at first. I thought it just went back to being an action RPG like Bastion or Transistor. But it turned out to be a roguelike, and that really intrigued me because the other games that Supergiant Games has brought out have always been very strongly story-driven games, and doing that in a roguelike is something that I don't think I have seen before. So that really intrigued me, but I actually think that they did a really good job. Now, as you can see, I've done 15 runs so far, so I'm a little bit into the story already. But I really think they did a pretty good job with the way that they handled it. Now, this is the area where we can select our weapons, but I'll first go back a little bit if I can. That's our room where we can spend upgrades. So this is like the main hub that you enter in when you die. So every time you die, you resurrect from this pool of blood. Oh, by the way, the team is all like Olympian gods and all of that stuff. Like, you're the son of Hades. So if you're familiar with the Greek mythology, you'll actually see a lot of recognizable characters and such, like Hades, like Cerberus. I forgot this guy's name. Yeah, I don't remember. But basically, like, there's a lot of people that you will recognize if you're familiar with the Greek mythology. So that's where you respawn. Usually when you respawn, you can talk to a few NPCs and they'll have some new dialogue for you. This is where you can spend upgrades. So as you go through the dungeon, you'll get keys and shadow presence. No, not shadow presence. What's it called again? Don't remember the name. But it's these purple orb or gem looking things. You use the keys to unlock new features. You use the gems to upgrade the features. Like, for example, this one is maxed out. And that's basically how you unlock like new passive abilities, mainly. You can also use this to upgrade, not to upgrade, but to unlock new weapons. As you can see, there's currently 4 weapons in the game. I have the shield equipped right now, which I can just do a smash, a dash, and a throw. This is really nice for like poking and hitting multiple enemies, but also being a little bit more defensive, as this blocks projectiles. Over here, you have different keepsakes that you can use. These are basically like artifacts. This is a new one I got. Next one, the boon, well, I'll explain that later. But basically, the third currency that you can use are gifts. You can give gifts to different people. When you give them a gift for the first time, they will give you a keepsake, and you can equip this at the start of your run to give you some passive benefits. Like, for example, take 20% less damage, but you take 10% more from the back, have 25 more HP, and some other stuff. So basically, this is some nice starting equipment that you can get. Then out of the 4 weapons, there will always be one weapon that is glowing, like this one right now. If I were to equip this, I get 10% more purple orbs during my next run, and then when I'm finished with the run, a new weapon will glow. This basically makes you want to run different weapons for different runs, keeping it varied for you. So the game kind of wants you to like try out different weapons, try out new playstyles, and they'll keep throwing this stuff at you, so that's really nice. Now, how does the combat work? Well, first equip a new weapon so that we can spawn ourselves our trading dummy. There he comes. I'm gonna grab this one again though. But you basically have your normal basic attack. For this one, it's the like thing that knocks back, and then I can hold it down, charge up, and then charge forward. can have your special, which in this case it's the throwing the buckler, and then you also have a cost attack, which is this. Now this also consumes a resource. As you can see at the bottom left next to my HP bar, there are 4 that I can use right now because I've maxed it out, and then I have to go pick them up again before I can use them again. And then of course, as you can see, I also have a dash. Currently it's upgraded so that I can dash twice instead of just once. Those are the basics of the combat. Like, you just have a dash, you have your special, you have your ranged attack, and then you have your basic attack. So let's head into the dungeon, shall we? And there we go, down into the dungeon, getting already first upgrade. Special deals more damage after each bounce during flight, so this is really nice. Special is faster. So do I want more damage or do I want to get it back faster? I'll take the damage. And here we already have our first enemies. Skill this real quick. In the first room you always get 1 upgrade guaranteed. Can also be a boon from the gods. Can be anything, like what we just saw could be just an HP up. Pretty much anything can happen in that first room. Now, if you're only paying attention, the first cool thing that caught my eye is that you can use the environment like in your advantage. So I was knocking the enemies into the wall, and because I knocked them into the wall, it will deal bonus damage because they take damage from both me and from the wall. Now something else that's also different from most roguelikes is the fact that you can't backtrack through the dungeon. Every time you finish a room, you usually get a choice out of 1 or 2 entrances like this one. If I go this way, this is a giant or centaur heart, I believe it's called. This will give me more maximum HP. This is the symbol for, I believe it's Athena. So if you go this way and I clear the room, then my reward for clearing the room is that I will get a boon from Athena. So as you can see, wall slam does extra damage to this mob. Let's also use my charge up. Boop. And actually I'm gonna see if I can try and knock him into the pitfall trap. See, there you go, spike trap, bam, killed the enemy. I can also do this with the pillars. The pillars actually will drop stones. So if I knock this down, I get lucky maybe, and I'll actually have some stones fall on his head, which will also deal some bonus damage. So it's really cool how you can use the environment against your opponents as well, not just against yourself. Now, once you clear out the room, you get your reward. In my case, it's the boon from Athena, I believe it was. Yes, it is.
Father hid the knowledge of your birth and life from us, my cousin. It's unacceptable.
There's always some kind of dialogue whenever you talk to them. The dialogue also is always progressive, so it's not like in most games where you encounter the same NPCs a couple times in different runs and they will always have the same dialogue prepared for you. Here there's actually an ongoing storyline, and every time you meet the same god, they will actually continue on with your conversation where you left off, or they'll make a remark about something that has already transpired in the story so far. So cost is bigger, stronger, dash is slower but can deflect. This is nice if you want to get out of stuff. I'm gonna take this. So remember how our cast was like this little red arrow that we fired? Now it's actually a big shield that we throw away. So that's how your gameplay kind of gets changed. Here we don't have a choice of 2 rooms, so the next room will award us a key if you were to complete it. Which I'm pretty sure we will. Now for this one, this statue right here will shoot if I stand on that. So if I throw them over there, I have this shoot at me. Oh well, it's kind of difficult to time with some enemies, but for some it works better. This trap is also kind of annoying. As you can see, like, I use the trap to damage my enemies a little bit as well sometimes. But it's just those nice little things that make the game a lot more interesting. We can choose to get more HP or more gold. I'm fine for HP, so we'll get the gold. And like going through this, like, it's really nice that you can always make a choice that you want. You're not always forced to just go into the next room and you don't know what's going to happen there. Because like over here you always know what room that you'll end up in. or what the rewards will be for clearing the room. So sometimes depending on your situation, like, oh, I need more HP or I want more gold or something like that, then you can actually choose what you want out of those rewards. And also depending on the pickup that you get, of course, your playstyle might change quite drastically. For example, if we had Zeus as our first boon, if I would have upgraded my my throwy thing, this thing I just picked up, then, oh, I could have actually bought something there in that cauldron in the back, if you watched closely. But basically, like, depending on what you pick up, you sometimes might want to change your playstyle completely. Now, as you can see, like, another thing with these throwing things, if I throw them into an enemy and the enemy does not die from it, and they'll actually keep it on their body for a certain amount of time, and then they will drop it eventually. And there we go. Things that killed it, and I got my ammo back. Now, one thing as well to note about these enemies, I can't stun these, and that's because they are armored. Armored enemies cannot be stunned. I'm actually taking way too much damage than I like. So you always have to be a lot more careful with these. Now armor is broken, so I can just smash him into a wall and he can't do anything against me. Or I could also just play it safe and use my throw instead of my basic attack. There we go. He went onto the trap pretty much killed him for me. Oh, we got Zeus. As you can see, we also deflected his attack right there by using our charge. So, boon number 2, Zeus.
After we learned about your plight and your existence from the goddess Nyx, all of us on Olympus rallied to assist you just as best we could. A family such as mine protects its own.
There we go, some nice dialogue with Zeus. And then we can choose our new ability to upgrade. Now, of course, since I already upgraded my my ranged ability, I can't upgrade it again because you can't mix two upgrades from two different gods. I do like the Zeus one a bit better, but of course you never know what you're going to get. So I'll just take this one because I like using my special. This makes it do a chain lightning bolt when you damage a foe. So this will actually make it a lot stronger. That icon right there, by the way, was if you wish to upgrade an ability that is already from an ability from a god, I guess you could say. So with this one, I'm either going to be able to upgrade my ranged attack or my throwing shield. And I'll probably go for the shield, because the throwing shield is pretty strong. And as you can see, like, I also couldn't attack that enemy because my shield is still in midair. So it's kind of like a trade-off that you have to choose. Like, do you want to use your shield somewhat far back and throw it at people, or do you want to just stay up and close with them? Because once you throw it away, you actually have nothing to defend yourself except your ranged attack. But that's of course with just this shield. There's other weapons in the game as well. I think the lance is also one that you throw away, and then you can like teleport it back to you. It does damage both on the exit, like when you throw it away and when you pull it back. There we go. And we'll upgrade our Zeus ability, so now it will do some more damage. Oh, there's actually a blood portal in there as well, which you pay some HP for, and then you get something back in return. Can be an item, can be an upgrade, could be HP again, can be anything. Pin him into the wall, block that attack by charging, boop. And it will just easily take them out. Oh, didn't see him charging from the back. As you can see, this guy has armor again as well, so I can't stun him. Need to be a bit more careful. There we go, he's broken, so now I can get him into hit stun and kill him easily. Oh, he actually has a minefield down there. Now, since these mines are dropped by himself, it actually doesn't damage him, but if there were normal mines on the field, then it would. Now, this is another one that I can do. If I unseal this, it will open, like I guess, a portal where other enemies come through. You just have to kill the enemies as fast as possible, and then the faster you kill them, the better the rewards will be. But I'm already kind of low on HP, so I'm not going to do that. Now, here I have the choice again. I can either go this route and get Artemis, the ranger, but there's also going to be a boss fight. As you can see, there's a skull on there. Or I could go this way, which is the shop. Now, I have almost 200 gold, so I could probably buy something to heal myself, which would be nice, but I'm not going to try and make this video too long, so we'll go this way and show off what a mini-boss looks like. This isn't an actual boss fight. I've only fought I fought the actual boss from the first level a couple times, but I've only beaten her once so far. So we'll just try and see if I can get there again, and that will be plenty for this video in my opinion. But of course I need to make sure that I don't die here first, because I'm already kind of low on HP. I might actually just die here. Need to be careful, because when they die, they also drop a bunch of bombs. So even though I kill these bosses, I might still die from their death animation, I guess you could say. There we go, killed him. And then we get Artemis.
Has been a real problem, hasn't she? I see the huntress instinct in her. She thinks she knows your weaknesses. Don't let yourself become predictable.
The Fury that she's talking about is Meg. Meg is the demon that you're going to fight as your first enemy. So I can get extra ammo for my cast, which is nice on some occasions, but since this build isn't really focused on my cast, I'm not going to go with that one. After a dash, my attacks deal critical damage, or your attack deals critical damage. I'll go with this one. And then, oh, this is actually the item for a gift. So if I get this gift, then I can give it to someone. And then I can get one of those keepsakes to start off my next run with, like you could see in the beginning. But of course, we gotta make it through this one first, because I only have 3 HP. It's not really much. One hit will pretty much kill me. I gotta play a bit careful. And that's also the nice versatility of this weapon. If you want to play really carefully, you can just play back and throw your buckler instead of going up close and go for the melee attacks. Nothing special around here. Let's go to the next room. Trap behind us, trap here in front, so we can try and use that to damage our enemies a little bit as well. There's also a little bit of aim assist in this game, by the way, so if you're playing this with a controller or a mouse, your aim doesn't have to be super perfect. And then with the buckler, of course, it's a lot easier, because I can just throw it down here and it'll just bounce off. And it'll hit my enemies. Oh. I should have actually died there, but because I have a passive that when I die, I regen a certain amount of HP, I am still alive. Oh, I actually hoped I will hit them, but it didn't. There we go. On to the next room. Now this will be an upgrade again for an already existing ability.
You again. You're late.
Gotta be careful with these laser guys because they deal a lot of damage and their attacks are a little bit annoying to dodge sometimes if you're not on move. There we go. Let's upgrade a special again because we're using that a lot. And this is well, actually, I'll go to the shop. This is those that blood gate that I'm talking about. I can't use it because it will use 15 HP. I have only 15 HP, so it will kill me. But we're going to see if I can get some HP items from the shop over here. So I can get more max HP. I can summon Artemis again. Or I can just buy some gems to spend at home. I'll actually just buy the gems and Artemis.
I guess this means you must have paid the boatman's ransom here. And whatever price he charged you, it was worth it.
As you can see, this is like the gods, or like the dialogue going on from where you've already been. Like, for example, I bought this from the boatman. So she realizes that this was a gift that she gave to the boatman and that I bought from him. Critical effects deal more damage. And then, of course, the other two. Now, the reason why this is because every time you converse with a god or you get a boon from them, you always gain a new ability. You can't just upgrade on what is already there. That's what you need those, like those upgrade items for. Those are the ones that upgrade the skills you already have. Gods will always give you a new ability. And I think this will be the Fury. Yes, it is.
And here you are again. You're slow to learn the way of things, I see.
I may be slow to learn, but at least I'm rather patient.
This talk about your patience is beginning to test mine. Enough. Come on and die.
I'll probably lose here, since I only have 19 HP, and her boss fight is not as easy as I would like it to be. Because usually, like, once you fought the boss a couple times, you can start to optimize your DPS quite a lot. But here you still have to be really careful, and she also summons a bunch of ads, which will make it a lot more difficult as well. As you can see, she's already started to summon some. And the boss also has different, like, she has an attack pattern, I guess you could say. Like, right now, all she's doing is dashing around, and when I come close, she will try to, like, whip me. Oh, that's such some stupid damage. But once we get her a bit lower, she will start throwing... Oh shit, there we go. She will start throwing out some orbs at me as well, or she will spawn puddles underneath me that I have to dodge out of. Stuff like that. But since we died, we now spawn back here again in the puddle of blood. And we'll also get some new dialogues with the people in here.
According to my list here, White, you must have just got clobbered all the way back home by one of those wretched thugs again. The old moving out of the way trick didn't work, huh?
Indeed.
And as you can see, I also could gift him with the gift I have right now.
You called upon your humble court musician, as I understand, Lord Hades, sir. Referring to myself, of course.
Well, Orpheus, if you're quite finished with your little stint within the depths of Tartarus, I'd like to ask again. Play us a song already. Or else next time I'll not be quite so charitable with your punishment.
Oh, that. I must apologize again, Lord Hades, sir, for I'm afraid that I've no wish to sing as yet, in spite of your persuasiveness even. And that, is my final word upon the subject at this time.
Is that so? Why then I'll go ahead and wait. I've all the patience in the world.
Now, as you can also see, Cerberus is gone. He's probably someplace else. Can talk to Achilles again. Oh yeah, right, this was Achilles. I forgot his name. And then down here, like sometimes there will also be these lost souls that just died. You can just listen into what they died to. He died of old age, for example. It's just small little tidbits. We also have Medusa here.
Hi. Hello, Your Highness. Nice to see you. Thanks.
And then she'll fly away. She usually doesn't really talk much. And we can go to our room, just like Achilles told us to. And then we can spend our upgrade points over here if we wish to. So Deep Pockets grants you 10 gold at the start of each escape, which is each run, so we'll just unlock that. And then I can use my upgrade points. Bam, there we go, it's now level 1. So I start with 10 gold next time I attempt a run. We also have this thing right here, which I bought, Foes Slain, and then Escapes Attempted. Sometimes you'll be able to rest and you'll get some more story content. So far I've only been able to do it once. And then we go over here. We have our dude that I can gift if I want to, but I'm saving my gifts for the gods because I already got his gift. We can also go over here.
I won't back down. Not now or ever.
And then sometimes you'll get some small dialogue. As you can see, it also shows you the furthest chamber that you've reached. In my case, it's 21, sometime in the 2nd level. I think there's 3 levels in total, not entirely sure, but it is quite difficult to get there. Now, as you can see, the next weapon that it wants me to use is the spear, so I could grab this and then I'll get more upgrade points. I'll show you real quick what you can do. You can just stab with it, you can throw it, and then as it comes back it also deals damage. You can hold it down and then you do a spinny attack. For the bow, you just hold down and you fire. If you release it at the perfect time, then you'll get a stronger shot. You have a volley that you can fire. And with the sword you just have a basic slash combo. The poke in the end knocks enemies away, so that's also really good for knocking them into walls. And this is also a knockback. So those are like your 4 different weapons that we have so far. There will be 2 more added in the future that we know of. Of course, this game is being still developed, so there will be new enemies, new dialogue, new NPCs that we will meet. But for now, this is kind of what we have. Of course, I didn't show you everything there was because, as I said, I think there's 3 levels in total, and I've only ever made it past Meg once. So yeah, that's kind of my first impressions on the game, or a first look at the game, I guess you could say. So far, I am really impressed with the game. The music is great. The way that they handled the story in a roguelike is something that blew my mind, as every roguelike that I've played so far has very little story. It's more like a general red thread that leads you through your playthroughs until you finally do beat the game and then the story comes to its conclusion. Here, every time that you actually finish a run, new story elements come into play, which I think is really impressive. So if you've got the time, if you have the money, I definitely recommend you check this out. You can buy it for 20 euros on the Epic Game Store. So you need to use the Epic Launcher to play this. It's not on Steam as far as I know, but it is something that I've played. I think I played for like 4 hours yesterday or something, which is something that I very rarely do. Usually I play like a game for an hour and then I'll play something else, or I'll do something else, but this game really got me interested. And I'll definitely be playing it a lot more in the future, check out the new updates and all of that good stuff, because I truly think that this game is something that has a lot of replay value, whereas something like Bastion Transistor, you play it once or twice, you've seen the story a couple times, and then it pretty much ends there, because there's nothing new to the actual gameplay, wherein in this game it's a roguelike. It has a lot of replayability from just the genre of game that it is. and the fact that they were able to incorporate such a story in there as well is something that is really interesting to me. So definitely give this a big thumbs up. I recommend you check it out as well. And with that, I will thank you all for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.